Now that Al Gore has been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, the question on everyone's lips seems to be, will he run for president? But the question on everyone's lips should really be, is America ready for a polar bear as vice president? Some would say that many Americans can barely contemplate the notion of a female president or a black president, let alone a vice president who's a member of another species. But I put it to you that we've already had a rat holding that office for the last 7 years or so. So I thought that I'd just do a quick rundown of the various vice presidential merits of Dick Cheney and a polar bear. For the most part, polar bears live in a remote Arctic wasteland. As for Dick Cheney, he has the remote control that controls George Bush's brain, which is also something of a wasteland. Polar bears like nothing better than dining on raw baby seal. Dick Cheney also enjoys eating raw baby seal, but he prefers his slowly marinated in the blood of disenfranchised voters. The polar bear's natural habitat is slowly disappearing. Dick Cheney has already made his residence disappear from Google Earth. Polar bears hunt all their food and can do an incredible amount of damage with their bare paws. Dick Cheney prefers a shotgun. Polar bears would never use their position of influence to siphon large government honey contracts to Californian brown bears. Dick Cheney would never use his position of influence to siphon billions of dollars in government contracts to Halliburton bears. Despite their position as fearsome predators at the top of the Arctic food chain, polar bears are loved by children everywhere. Despite his position as a fearsome predator at the top of the Washington food chain, Dick Cheney is loved by children. Okay, analogy over. Anyway, Al Gore, in the immortal words of Axl Rose, get in the ring, motherfucker. What have you got to lose? Do it, if not for us, do it for the polar bears. This video was supplied for parody purposes only. Everyone knows that Dick Cheney prefers his baby seals sashimi style. Apparently, there's been another paparazzi sighting of Britney Spears' vagina. Now somebody said to me, Mark, are you going to make another video about this? And I said, it's not exactly top of my to-do list, but when it comes to Britney's vagina, I'll always do my best to slip something in. What can we really say about what must be, I think it's sighting number 3? BV3. It's a bit like Godfather 3. It started as a good idea, but by this point it's been stretched a little too thin. Well, perhaps thin isn't exactly the right word. And much like Godfather 3, it's got Sofia Coppola in it, for no apparent reason. Okay, Britney's vagina doesn't really have Sofia Coppola in it. But if it did at this point, would we really be surprised? See, much like Britney's publicist, I've got nothing. But if you enjoyed some of this video, don't forget to rate it. I would give it 5 YouTube Peace Prizes. That's 5 YouTube Peace Prizes. If not for me, do it for the polar bears.